If you're a functional medical practitioner, a nutritionist, a health coach, or a health professional, and you want to transition from working one-on-one with your patients in a local setting, and you essentially want to build a digital clinic, well, I'm going to show you in this video how health pros from all around the world, including myself, have created an online digital clinic that is generating 5 to 6 figures every single month by using a very simple 4-step digital clinic model that we have created here. So essentially what we identified is a lot of health practitioners, they do not achieve the results of maybe like big clinics like Dr. Brian Colts, Dr. Megan Rossi. It's because they are limited and they're operating in what I like to call the health practice dungeon system. And this is because the health practice dungeon system has 5 core pillars that stops health professionals actually scaling their business. And the first one is having a commodity offer. So this means majority of health pros do not specialize on a specific niche. And it's not in the sense of you as a professional, you just need to treat, like, for example, as a naturopath or majority of health practitioners, you can treat many different types of conditions. Like naturopath can treat, people who have issues with acne, people who have issues with maybe even CVS, people who have diabetes, people who have, different types of conditions. So I'm not referring to the idea of specializing into your treatment, but I'm talking into your marketing. Whenever we're going to the market, the biggest problem that a lot of health practitioners and a lot of health coaches actually have is they essentially try to target everybody. They're generalists. So whenever you are seen as a generalist, as someone who is a commodity, this is one of the biggest problems because you're not different. And you are not conveying to the market that, listen, I have a program, I have a transformational offer. As we know, people are sick and tired of just getting to consultation. People want a desired result. People want that, listen, if I come to Dr. John, I come with set and set condition and I want the desired result. So because of that, if you just come to a consultation, then you do not have validity, as opposed to how I've done it. For example, in my case, instead of just saying, listen, we can help you with fatigue and we can help you with migraines and we can help you with, acne and we can help you with stress and we can help you in this, I specialize on a specific chronic condition, CVS, and we created a specific timeline that actually proved that you can get that result. And we essentially specialized the entire course curriculum, entire program to only focus on one avatar. The moment we started marketing, immediately we started getting leads, we started getting interest for our offer, and it was very easy to actually convert that attention into booked appointments because there was something into the market. Listen, this guy is a specialist, as opposed to going to such and such doctor who does hundreds of different things. This guy has a specific type of program. He has gone through this type of issue. He has a specific protocol that actually treats such and such condition. It does not mean that we are misleading our advertising, but it means that we essentially selectively focus on a specific condition when we're marketing. That is the most important thing. That is one of the biggest problems. The second problem is obviously charging low prices. Why is it important to charge higher prices? Because it allows you not only to get higher quality clients, but allows you to also have enough money and enough resources to improve your program, to deliver better results, and actually scale as a business and create a business that you actually enjoy to have, as opposed to being stuck in a rat race of just being controlled by the business. And the other problem that I've seen in this industry, and which I actually studied, very intensely, it's people, especially health practitioners, do not have an end transformation, meaning because they do not specialize on a particular chronic condition into their marketing, when they're marketing their services, they essentially just sell the consultation. So now I'll give you a very clear example. If you, for example, have 2 types of operators, operator number 1 sells consultation, operator number 2 sells a transformation, which is more likely to get more clients? The one who sells the transformation. Why? Because it's specific, because it talks to the pain of the customer, because that operator, that health professional promises a transformation. And for example, you're promising or you're helping people being diabetes free, being chronic fatigue free, helping them with multiple sclerosis. There's no amount of money in the world that if you actually are accredited, you have a specific design protocol, and you have proof for that, there's no amount that the person would not be willing to pay, given if you are fulfilling on your promise. So that's the biggest problem. The second problem is obviously the local-based marketing. When you have a local business or a local practice, you're only limited by the vicinity, by the demographic area where you operate. So for example, if you operate in Vancouver or in London or in Chicago, the most you can market is entire city. And even in that case, if you are in a big metropolitan area like London, imagine there's like 12 million people living into that city. And if you take in a factor, traffic, if people see an ad of yours or you're trying to get customers to come to your clinic and the visit, it's 2-3 hour drive, a lot of people would just drop off because they were not being able to come to that part. If you take a factor, the time, the traffic, and all the type of stuff, that is a big factor in hindering the potential pool of people that you can target. And there's so many people in a specific, maybe 5 to 10 mile radius that specifically have a type of condition. But flip it right now. If you go online, the world is your oyster. You can go and target entire cities, entire regions, entire countries, even continents. You can start reaching out. The customers that I got were from Western and Eastern Europe. And now we are preparing in the future to open different types of markets. Facebook does not know, or advertising platform charge the same exact ad cost to show that message, to show that ad, to show your content, whether that is you want a client from North America, Mexico, or your country. It makes no difference for them. It's just an ad on an app. So that's why you need to take advantage of this new type of technology when you're marketing, but also you need to understand how to do it correctly. Now, the other problem is with the idea of just marketing into a local area is the idea of, if you don't have a marketing strategy, if you don't have a client acquisition system, the only way that you'll get clients is how? Maybe referrals. But referrals will get you to so much. It's good to have a referral system, but it's even better to have a client acquisition system, a content system combined with referrals. It's like just adding fuel to a burning fire, and then boom, it can actually grow to multiple 5-6 figures of getting clients and getting revenue for your business. Because you can grow this business as big as you want or as small as you want. But imagine this, instead of just limiting your entire market on a specific area, now you're able to market globally and you're able to charge higher ticket because now you're selling per transformation. Now, whether you want to work with 10 clients paying you 2K each, 3K each, and making 20, 30, 10K, it does not matter per month, and just having 5-6 clients for yourself and getting that type of income, or you want to go and build like a big digital clinic, it allows you that ability. So it's very malleable. This type of business model is very malleable. And if you know exactly how to set up the fulfillment system, the client acquisition system, then it's very easy for you to grow, or if you want to maintain the business that you created, and it allows you that time and freedom that you actually crave to actually do other things. Now you're not stuck into a whatever type of local practice from 9 to 5. Now you can go and can travel. You can take the consultations from around the world. I am at home. I was taking that consultations and having group calls from my own comfort. So I'm not forced to go and spend money on utilities and finding a space, and then I'm asking costs and renovating, creating this clinic and trying to get customers in. It's just of unnecessary expenses when you can actually get even better results remote digitally without all the hassle, and not only get better results for you as a business, as a clinic owner, but get better results for our clients. Because nowadays everybody, as I mentioned, shifted online and are now more comfortable being and actually demand remote healthcare and telemedicine services. The other part is obviously not having a dialed in client acquisition system, not having a appointment flow that actually qualifies and books appointments for your own business. You're leveraging outdated techniques. Maybe you do not know exactly how to use ad platforms. You do not know exactly how content is so important in building trust with people. You do not know have CRM. There's an entire infrastructure that it's required to actually get qualified booked appointments. This entire infrastructure that we've built here wouldn't be possible to get those type of clients without a lot of nurturing, a lot of educational assets, a lot of marketing strategies, leveraging multi-platform advertising techniques and retargeting to get customers to actually book calls. So it's not as easy, I'm going to build a lead form and that's about it. It may seem easy, but in reality, you need a backend and a follow-up system, including email, including AI WhatsApp and SMS automations and setters. So it's a lot of things that a lot of health practices and a lot of health coaches do not have, and rightfully so, because these are the tools of the marketing domain. A lot of health professionals are experts. Majority of you are experts in treating patients. But in order to build, a successful digital clinic, you also need to master or have the infrastructure required to facilitate the transformation and to facilitate the right tools and the right resources for your own business to actually grow. Because the same exact way, like when you health professionals actually look at a person and you look at them as a system that needs to be fixed, the same exact thing a business needs, and the same exact thing I look at a digital clinic and a health business. I'm looking at all the factors that actually needs to be tweaked: appointments, content, onboarding funnel, acquisition strategy, personal branding, follow-up, emails. All those different things needs to be built in synchronicity in order to function in the correct manner. And this is appointment is one of the most important, is the lifeblood of a business. Sales and appointments are the lifeblood. The other problem, as I mentioned, is sales. A lot of health practitioners, and even I, when I started, I had a lot of resistance because people are very skeptical nowadays. People are essentially in a trust recession. They do not trust people easily, especially if they are online, especially if they have never met someone. Even if you have a personal or a physical clinic, you see nowadays on TikToks, on Instagram, you see all dentists and doctors trying to build content. Why is that? It's because of trust. It's because guarding that credibility. But obviously, nobody wants to be a clown 24/7, trying to find this reel, trying to film this reel, trying to find the best angle, the best scripts. It's just exhausting, especially if you are a doctor. You're not like a content creator. You're a health professional. You may have this content creation side as an option, but the way that we've built this entire infrastructure does not require you to be like a clown 24/7 to actually get qualified booked appointments. You can actually do this in the future, but it's not a requirement. The way that we've built, Path Recovery, it had no content. I just had a couple of videos on TikTok, like on YouTube, a little bit of videos there, but everything was baked into the acquisition system that we created, specifically to solve all the concerns of the customer. Who are you? The trust aspect of the customer, the idea of people not being willing to spend a lot of money whenever they're seeing you. So how do you nurture that relationship in order to get them to a point that they actually want to work with you? And also, these are the things required in order to build, a scalable digital clinic. But once installed, then you will have, and you will see that you have minimized sales resistance because you leverage the tools that are required to make and garner the trust of your customers. The other part is obviously the most important thing, which is one of the biggest bottlenecks in building a digital clinic, is inefficient fulfillment models. The biggest issue with having a health coaching program, or essentially a service business in essence, is because everything is done via one-on-one interaction with the customer. The customer comes, they pay a consultation, they come to that set consultation, and then everything is done via one-on-one delivery. The problem with this is it's not scalable. You cannot build a business. Everything is revolving around you. So the problem of building this type of business and expecting it to take you to 5, 6, 7 figures a month is because without creating a fulfillment mechanism that allows you to actually deliver that type of value to your customers without the requirement of you being there, or with least minimal intervention from you, if you're not implementing this type of system and creating this type of fulfillment model, then you will always hit a barrier. But the way of how we actually help people actually build this, by implementing different types of tools and different types of softwares and infrastructure here, is this type of model allows you to actually leverage content, leverage group calls, leverage different types of tools and accountability to also preserve that one-on-one relation that the customer desperately wants, but also allow you to actually grow to 20, 30, 50, 100 clients with maybe one practitioner or one coach using automations, AI, softwares. And this allows you great scalability for your own business. And if you solve this thing, boom, then your business can just take off. So this is what I call the health dungeon system that keeps a lot of health practitioners stuck from growing their business. If you actually like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna make sure to post every single week new videos providing educational content, how-tos, and everything that we here at Pathway Consulting do in the health space. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in our next video. Bye-bye.